if you're on the fence, if you're like, I want to do it, I want to quit my full-time job because you either just don't like it or it doesn't work or it takes time away from your family, now's the time to jump into it. Don't wait. Get into it now. There's so many avenues out there for education. Detailers like myself, many others who are willing to give you a helping hand, at least give you some guidelines to avoid some of the pitfalls, because we've been through it all, and we struggled. We know what it's like.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
And you've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
Phil, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we jump into about what you do, can you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what makes you the man that you are today?
Yeah, so my name is Phil Miranda. My wife, Jessica, and I own Miranda Detailing here outside of Richmond, Virginia. And we've been in business for 13 years now doing automotive detailing.
Automotive detailing. So on the surface, pretty straightforward business, right? Do you go on site to detail cars, or do people bring them to you?
So we started mobile. That was kind of the beginnings of our business. And so that was nice. We did that for about 10 plus years. But the past 2 years, we transitioned into a garage/shop environment. This is actually a garage at our home that we've converted to a detail shop.
Wonderful. So do you still go out and do it, or just in the shop now?
Not anymore. In fact, I am selling my detailing trailer to any detailer who wants to buy a detailing trailer, but it's fully stocked and ready to go. But yeah, we stopped the mobile service only because we've been doing it for so long, and we've had so many customers come to us over the past 2 years that we kind of just stopped doing mobile. There wasn't really a need for it anymore, for us at least.
Okay. So do you mind me asking how old you are?
Yeah, I just turned 40.
Just turned 40. So you were young when you started this business with your wife, but you weren't like right out of college or anything. What were you doing prior to the company?
So that's kind of an interesting story because it's kind of a struggle story. My wife and I actually moved from northern New York and Vermont area. If people know where Killington Mountain is in Vermont, the big ski mountain, we used to live and work in that area. But at the time, the economy wasn't so great then, and we were just basically bouncing around to all sorts of jobs, anything we could get our hands on, and it just wasn't good. Being newly married, it wasn't good for us, and we just couldn't make the money and couldn't really make ends meet. We were going deeper and deeper into debt. So at the time, right before we moved here in 2009, we stumbled across detailing. And basically, we were doing some work with a friend of ours who had a mobile bumper painting business that was actually very lucrative. It was a really good business, and I wanted to get into that, but the startup cost was just a little bit too much for us to handle because of our financial issue. But detailing was something that was a cheap startup, and the more I researched it, the more we thought, hey, we can do this. We can start our own business and do mobile detailing, which was completely new to us. Like, it was completely out of our realm. We had no idea, how to do this because we were just coming from painting, like interior and exterior painting and house cleaning and little odd jobs that we were just doing, and nothing just really worked out. And it was always working for somebody else. So yeah, we definitely took a leap of faith and jumped into this business, not knowing anything about it or really even how to have a business, how to own one, how to properly run it and everything. We just jumped into it and learned how to swim. We basically jumped in the deep end and learned how to swim over the past 13 years.
Right. And at the end of the day, any business is just, you're going to charge a price for a product or service that your client thinks the value of your product or service is greater than the dollars that they're going to give you. Right. And having a clean, detailed car to the right person is priceless to a lot of people.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's a luxury business too. It's not out of necessity. It's something that people want instead of need.
right.
Because you can wash your own car. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. But there are people out there who are like, these things are expensive, and they want them to retain their value. And some people are about cleanliness. That they want it to look and feel aesthetically, correct and clean. So that's really where the detailing business caters to, is people like that, and they'll pay for it.
Absolutely. So the beautiful thing about mobile detailing specifically, very low cost of entry on financial, but the easy to replicate. Not everybody has the mentality to do the actual work required. So there is a barrier to entry that's different than just a lot of subjective work, right? When you clean the car, it's very objective, like, oh, they did this. So in my industry, online marketing, Facebook gurus are, it's very low cost entry, and the outcome is kind of subjective. So it's way oversaturated. So you found a market that isn't oversaturated because the work is hard to do, right? To do it well, it's hard to do, but the cost was very, very affordable, right? It's stuff. It's $100 bucket of cleaning supplies can probably turn a couple $1,000s worth of profit at the end of the day. So I think it's brilliant what you did and made that transition. Can you tell us about the very early days? It's you and your wife, you decided to partner together to do this business. You're both working in it. Are you both still working odd jobs to make ends meet? Or do you both just jump into this both feet and say, this is what we're doing, and no safety net?
Yeah. So, and that's a really good one, because when you hear this story, you're going to think, how and why would any sane person do this? Because we moved down here at the same time that we wanted a fresh start. It's almost like we were reborn. We wanted to start completely fresh. And to any normal person, that may seem like that's crazy. Like, you're moving to an area where you don't even know anyone. The reason why we moved down here is because of the economy and the weather, literally. Because up in Vermont, it's really difficult to have a sustainable service-based business that relies on good weather. In Vermont, it's like 10 months out of the year, it's winter. So, and I grew up there. I know what that's like. And I'm like, we can't work up here. It's crazy. So we moved down here, and we're like, okay, instantly we have better weather, longer working season. And we had the mentality of, we were both hard workers. Like, my wife can work me under the table any day. She came from the world of she did have her own business with her family. It was a painting business. And unfortunately, it went under because we were painting the condominiums up at Killington Mountain for a long time. And unfortunately with that, it's like, it's your own business, but we also have to rely on the owners of those mountains and the corporations and all that. And once they sold, they kind of kicked us out. And like, that entire business just tanked. And now we're just kind of sitting with nothing. So that's really where it started. We kind of gradually hit rock bottom because of that. But we moved down here with tons of debt, empty credit card debt, with some savings and with a game plan. But it's not like we had a business plan. It's not like we had a financial advisor helping us to, okay, now you got to do this and invest your money in this and do that. Nah, we just struggled. It was just trial and error. And the first year we almost failed. Like, at the end of the year, we're like, I guess we got to move back home. Like, it's not working. And we were just struggling and struggling and struggling. But something turned. And I don't know if it's just chance or whatever, or it's just in every business, some businesses fail just because of, time and unexpected events. Just things happen, right place at the right time. Things can happen and businesses can flourish or fail. But at this point, Groupon came on the scene. And at the time, they were great. And we worked with them for like 2 years. And they got us on the map. Now Groupon is oversaturated. It doesn't work anymore. But when they first started, it did. And fortunately, it matched up with our, time of almost failing. And it matched up to the point where now it actually gave us a jump. And we worked with them again for 2 years, and it finally got us on the map. And we were finally getting regular customers. Still struggling, but at least we were gaining some footage there. And it was like that for at least 3 or 4 years until about the 5th year, we finally had sustainable customers, sustainable income, and we were paying off debt. And it was finally a business. Like at that point, I could say, like, finally, we did it. Like it's a legit business. It's working now, but it took a while to get there. There's a lot of struggle.
Yeah, I mean, 50% of all businesses fail in the first year, and I think 80% by the 5th year. So I think it's, it shows a lot of tenacity to take a business like this and get to 13 years. And I can imagine some of the conversations you've had with friends and family. Wait, and what city did you move to? Where are you guys at now?
We're right outside of Richmond, Virginia, in Chesterfield, a place called Chesterfield.
Okay. So you're going to move and you're going to wash cars for a living, which seems like something you would do as a kid, right? You'd walk around the neighborhood and say, hey, can I wash your car for $5? I'm sure that you had just a ton of support from your friends and family. No naysayers at all. Everybody just expected you to do this and crush it, right?
Well, yeah, I know, right? That's
yeah.
My family completely supportive. My
really?
family
Through the whole thing.
Yep. Because I have 2 brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother. And my older brother he's an incredible entrepreneur. And I worked with him. And this is also what kind of built it into my mind and my personality, is working with my older brother, who started a landscaping company in Maine years ago, like 20 years ago. And he's shifted his business into different things over the years. But I learned that business mentality from him. He is an extremely hard worker, very industrious, and same thing. Like, he struggled with his business, but he made it. And I saw the struggles that he was dealing with. I saw how he was dealing with financial stuff, with customers, but then I saw actually how within a couple of years, he was going on vacations and buying nice stuff. And I'm like, okay, like it works. But he's also very charismatic. He knows how to talk to people. He's amazing at customer service, very personable. And I learned a lot of that from him. So to this day, I talk to customers and talk to people in that same manner. I kind of delve back into the years ago, and seeing how he used to relate to customers. And I do the same thing. I treat them with respect, the way you're supposed to, and not like a giant corporation where they're just a number. I want them to be part of my detailing family, if that makes sense.
And I think that's so important. Like, if you want to really take and try to tear this business apart and what makes it work, you start with a service like washing a car, right? People devalue that. As low as $5, the neighborhood kid can do it. I can do it myself. I can do it at the drive-through for, dump some quarters in, all the way up to, I'm assuming, a couple $100, maybe $500 detailing job, right? On something, on some really nice vehicles. And you've got, on one hand, people saying, oh, it's so hard to make it, and I can't come up with the product or service, or nobody would ever buy that. But you're selling, car washes, detailing, right? A fancier word for it. It's a really good car wash for several $100s. What do you tell the person that's out there and saying, oh, shucks, yeah, I just can't make it?
Get over yourself. And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean it because, we get inside of our own heads sometimes, and we box ourselves in. Right. And then we look at negative media out there. And then we look at those who have made it and they're like millionaires. I'm like, you can't compare yourself to that. You have to pave your own way. And all detailers, and in many businesses anyway, you start small anyway, but many detailers start by either washing their own cars or washing family cars and detailing them and growing from that. And detailing is a very passionate thing. Like, detailers are very passionate about what we do. Sometimes we go overboard because we can't help ourselves.
Right. Absolutely. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I would imagine, because are you still doing the work, or do you have employees doing all the work now?
It's still just my wife and I doing all the work, hands-on.
Right. So I'm assuming the two of you, probably a 50, 60 hour a week job for each of you to get all the bills paid, to do the labor and the back office work that's required, the sales and all those things, right? It's a struggle, it's a challenge, but you've found a place where you're profitable, making money, and you're living happily. And now you've started teaching other people how to do this business with your YouTube channel. Can you tell us a little bit about that process, starting the channel, getting followers, and the mindset behind show people what you do and how you do it, because that sets you as the industry professional.
Exactly. And YouTube was an interesting thing because it started out just showcasing the work for my customers. I just wanted to do some videos and show, this is how we do interior, this is how we do exterior, this is what you can expect from us. And I would send them that link and say, hey, this is what you're going to be paying for. This is, expectations that you can see. And the more I did it, I just kept filming and filming and filming and filming and getting better at filming and editing. And then I started actually talking more and putting myself in front of the camera. And it just blew up into this thing that I had no idea it was going to blow up into. People following and commenting, and they were enjoying the content and asking questions. And that's really when it started, is when people start asking questions online about, hey, what product did you use? How did you do this? How did you do that? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And then I'm answering those questions. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do a video answering some of those questions. And it just snowballs.
Right.
Now it's been almost 5 years on YouTube. We have over 800 videos. And these are not like short little trendy videos. They can be lengthy. I have everything from like 10 minutes all the way up to a full hour. And it's because they're so full of information. The long ones are very lengthy. It's more like a documentary on the vehicle that I'm working on. I'm showing you all the little ins and outs and the crazy things that I'm like working on, and things that work, things that don't work. So I'm not the trendy YouTuber. I'm the one that you go to learn like the nitty gritty stuff.
Right. About car detailing specific.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of transitioned into a teaching aspect because I think it naturally progresses to that point anyway on YouTube, because it is definitely educational. It's entertainment, but a lot of it is educational as well.
Right. I don't know if you realize how close to home that hits for me, because Clicks and Bricks is all designed around the concept of brick and mortar companies utilizing online stuff to really help their business grow. And
yep.
I don't know your numbers or the math. I know the math behind YouTube channels pretty well. But what you've done is you've created an entirely new business inside your business that documents your business, but it's another revenue stream, right? And
yep.
For the audience, just so you can kind of grasp this a little bit, you're landlocked in the geographic area that you can support with your detailing, but you're not landlocked by the reach that you can have with a platform like YouTube or TikTok or any of the other ones out there. When you promote a product and somebody uses that link to buy it, you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. We get commissions both from Amazon and this company called Car Supplies Warehouse that we do some sponsored stuff with.
Right. So there's multiple revenue opportunities for people out there that I don't think it matters what you do. Start documenting it, get the video out there, link the products that you use inside of those. At minimum, Amazon's got affiliate programs. You can throw the links to your products that you get from Amazon up. Really super simple. And it's just another revenue stream, right? And you never know, like, realistically, what could happen to you over the next 5 or 10 years is your YouTube channel is your business and your detailing is a hobby, right?
Yeah.
that you still do to support the content for your channel, right?
Yeah.
And
that's basically my retirement plan. Is transitioning into teaching and online media.
Absolutely.
And when you said multiple streams, I can think at least 4 or 5 multiple streams of income right now that we have. The detailing business is number one, of course. That's the biggest one. But YouTube ad revenue is a plus, so that's a nice chunk. Amazon car supplies warehouse, and our training it's a very small part of it, but I'm growing that to be a subscription-based monthly training program where people can subscribe to it and get 2-hour blocks of one-on-one online training. So that's another revenue that I'm working on. So yeah, essentially 5 streams of revenue that happened because of YouTube.
Right. And the new technology that's available to us. So the point that I want to get to the audience here is that a service like, at the end of the day, car washing, car detailing, with the tools that you have today, it doesn't have to be a small business. And well, it can be a small business. In my mindset of, I really like working with groups of under 10 to 20 employees. When it gets too many employees, my mind gets lost. It's not the best place in the world for me to be. So I really like working with small teams, and I like to stay there, but we all want more revenue, and you figured out a way to do it. So congratulations on that. I think it's a huge thing to overcome the trials and tribulations you had leaving your hometown and starting a business, and then, just taking all the hard knocks and keep going. If somebody wanted to learn more about that YouTube channel, where would they go to find that?
Yeah, they can actually go right onto my website at mirandadetailing.com. I have all the links there. I have a video page with, all the different videos on there, a collection of them. But right on the main page, it'll bring you to one of those YouTube videos. And I even have like a merch page on there with shirts and all sorts of cool stuff.
Absolutely. I think it's super, super cool and exciting. What's next for you? Is this the path, or is there something new and exciting around the corner that you want to share with us?
Yeah. So that 5th revenue stream that I was talking about, the online training, that's actually something that I'm working on for the next 6 months. That's a goal of mine. And I'm actually working with some other detailers from around the world. Being on YouTube, it's a great opportunity to network with people, because they will reach out to you if they sense a connection, and they're like, I like this guy. I want to reach out and ask questions and connect. Well, I've made some really awesome friends with people in Scotland, in Australia, around the world, and even here locally in the States and California. And these are professionals who've been in the business for a long time. They're making their own chemical line. They do training on their own. And we're going to network and do online training for detailers that will be like that, subscription based, and they can pay monthly and get a couple of hours, a block of hours each month. And each month we'll have something special. We'll have a special guest, a special topic. It'll change each month from procedure, product, business, marketing, all of that stuff. And each time we'll have a different guest to help me, answer all those different questions. And it'll be something like this. It'll be in my garage, high quality video, high quality audio, and basically demonstrating products and techniques and procedures right here in the shop. Interactive question and answer, lecture, like that's a whole thing that I have viewed for the next 6 months that I'm working on. And it's priced at a point where like any beginning detailer can afford it.
Right.
And we're not talking about thousands or even hundreds. We're talking like $100 a month or so for online training that's continuous, and you get that one-on-one help. So that's something I'm working on for the next 6 months.
I think online training and micro education or specific education is a huge market for the next 10 years. It's going to be growing at breakneck speed. I know some of the people behind some of the things that are pushing it. I'm in some of those groups myself. And I think it's absolutely a great way for you to go. And I'm super excited for it. Would there be stuff in there for non-detailers to learn as well? If I had a couple of really nice cars, would it be something for me to join it just so I could maintain my own vehicles?
Yeah, actually that might be a subject for a month, is do-it-yourself detailing or enthusiast detailing. Because there's a huge chunk of followers on YouTube and social media that aren't businesses. They're just guys who we call detail enthusiasts.
Right.
And
DIY
they're
guys.
the one. Yeah, exactly. They have their own nice cars they like to care for, or they do it on the side. It's not a business. They just do it on the side because it's a passion for them. And they take it all in. They learn. And they're like, I don't need the business stuff, but I want to know, how do you polish that? How do you apply a ceramic coating? How do you do this? How do you do that? And they want to know the nitty gritty, but it's not for a business. It's just for their own pleasure. And they're totally welcome to do that. So they can pick and choose, like, hey, this month we're going to be focusing on how to maintain your ceramic coated car. You just spent all this money on it. How do you maintain it and make sure it looks good? That'll be a subject for next month or one of the months. So, oh yeah. And any car guys can go on there and learn a ton.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Phil, for all the navigation that you and your wife have done to build this business, and then to recognize all the technology benefits that you have today. And, for what would seemingly be a small detailing company could be, like realistically with where you're going, 10, 50, $100 million revenue company isn't.
Oh yeah. It's not.
Isn't something not possible?
Yeah. It's not unrealistic. I have some detailing friends that started just over a year ago from scratch, and they built it up to a 6-figure business, like a big company with employees, and they're doing incredible things in the industry in a short amount of time. Of course, that's not for everyone. That this particular person had incredible drive, and nothing was going to stop him. He was just like a juggernaut. He's just going to barrel through anything and everything and get to where he's going. Right. Not everybody has that drive. It takes everybody, a little bit longer to get here or there. But if you have that drive, if nothing can stop you, just do it. You're going to come against certain things that you think are going to just stop you dead in your tracks. You can barrel through them.
Right.
You can barrel through them.
Do you just love the work?
I do.
You do?
I do.
You really like that?
Like right
it's
now,
therapeutic?
It is. And that's another thing. Like, a lot of the detail enthusiasts do it as almost like a relaxation thing. Like, those who have serious, like actual medical OCD problems like that, detailing is therapeutic because you can hyper focus and you can stand back. And when you finish something, it's so satisfying to have it all done. So it's definitely a therapeutic thing. And for me, it's just enjoyable. Like, I've always wanted my own business. I wanted to have certain freedoms, but I also wanted to have the opportunity to just enjoy the work that I'm doing. And, before this interview, I was doing some social media stuff, finishing up things, organizing stuff, putting around, and just enjoying being in this atmosphere.
Right.
And it's something enjoyable,
Congratulations, Phil. I know we're a little short on time today, but is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with before we go?
I would like to say that for those who are thinking about starting a detailing business like this, if you're on the fence, if you're like, I want to do it, I want to quit my full-time job because you either just don't like it or it doesn't work or it takes time away from your family, now's the time to jump into it. Don't wait. Get into it now. There's so many avenues out there for education. Detailers like myself, many others who are willing to give you a helping hand, at least give you some guidelines to avoid some of the pitfalls, because we've been through it all, and we struggled. We know what it's like, but it's like we started with the worst possible way of starting any business. Right. So if you have a full-time job and you have some money put away and you're like, I want to start this because it's a passion, you're already ahead of the game. So just do it. Just jump into it and don't be afraid, because you never know. It could turn into something incredible.
Can you do that business as a side hustle to start?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. Nights and weekends, you can get enough business to build your confidence to quit that full-time job and go all in on the auto detail.
So many people have done it this year, and they've contacted me, and unbeknownst to me, just because of the channel and the social media and the training that we do just on the channel alone, I've had so many people actually email me and call me almost in tears with joy, because they're like, I had to call you. Like, they were emotionally overwhelmed. They had to call because they quit their job that they hated. And yeah, they were making money, like a lot of money with it, but they quit their job that they hated, went full-time into detailing, and implemented the things that they learned from us, and along with other detailers, not just us. And one guy was like, I'm making like 5 to 10 grand a month. And I had no idea I could do that. I just jumped into it and now I have an amazing business. Quite a few guys, like at least a dozen or so in the past year that have
That's
called.
wonderful.
And
that's got to make you feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. It really
helps somebody do that. That is so special. Awesome.
Yeah.
Again,
I didn't have to do a thing to them. You know, they just watched and learned.
That's it for today's show, folks. If you'd like to join my text line community, the number is 314-370-2871. All you have to do to join that text line is send me any question about business or technology. I'll do all the research and I'll give you an absolutely free, totally unbiased answer. Get to work.